Hey, I'm Victor.
And I'm Andrew.
Welcome to Kidstek Learning. We're starting our first class of Engineering 1. But before we get started, we have to go over a few important rules. The first rule is to show respect. What do you think I mean by respect, Andrew?
I think respect means to treat others the way you want to be treated. That, to me, means respect.
Very good. But we can show respect to more than just others. We can show respect to our Legos by not crushing them or breaking them or destroying them when someone else is working on them. Our second rule is to follow the instructions. Make sure that you do everything that it says on the page before you go on to the next one. Otherwise, you'll get to the end and something may not be built up right or it looks totally wrong. And our third rule is to remember to have fun. Sometimes we can get so caught up on the science and the learning that we forget we're playing with Legos right now. So remember to have fun. As I mentioned before, this is a Lego engineering class, where we are going to learn what engineers and scientists are and what they do. But first, I have a question for you, because I love questions. Say I'm standing at the edge of a cliff, and in one hand I'm holding a 10-pound rock, and in the other hand I'm holding a 1-pound rock. If I drop them both at the same time, which one will hit the ground first? What do you think, Andrew?
I think the heavier rock will hit the ground first. It's heavier, it will fall faster.
Okay. Well, even though we don't have any rocks or a cliff with us on hand, is there something we do have we can use to get the answer to our question?
I know. What if we use two objects, one heavier than the other, and we drop them at the same height at the same time? I know.
I think this will work. Come on back, Andrew, and we'll get this started. But before we do, I have a question I'd like to ask our audience, because I love questions. What do you call it when you try to do something to get the answer to a question?
Experiment.
That's right, it's called an experiment. Ready for our experiment, Andrew?
Ready.
All right, drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1. So which one hit the ground first?
The tire, the heavier one, which is what I said. Duh.
Okay, but do you think it was a very good experiment?
Well, sure.
What about you? Do you think it was a very good experiment? Do you think that this proves without a shadow of a doubt that the heavier object will always hit the ground first? What about you, class? Do you think it was a very good experiment?
Like, because it's flat and so it's light and it's like flattened so it can so when it falls down it slips and it goes like this.
You're right. It did just sort of drift down. It did just sort of glide down on the wind. Thanks. So what if I do this? What if I crumple the paper up a whole bunch? So that way it's round and hard, just like the tire, and we try our experiment now. 3, 2, 1.
I still think the tire hit the ground first.
Well, okay, Andrew. What would you do differently?
I just realized that we didn't give enough time for the tire to beat the paper and hit the ground first. So, if we drop it from a higher distance, we can really see that the tire wins.
Okay. It's a good idea to try and experiment a couple of different ways and make sure that you're getting the right results.
I know. I can use a chair. Thank you. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. They hit at the same time. Wow, I was not expecting that. Why did that happen, Mr. Victor?
Well, it's because of something called constant acceleration due to gravity, which basically just means that gravity will pull any object dropped to the ground at the same speed. The tire and the paper fell to the ground at the same speed. If Andrew and I fell to the ground, we would fall at the same speed. It's something we call a law of nature. There are lots of laws of nature, and one of the things we're going to be doing in our Lego classes is talking about these laws of nature and designing Legos based off of what we know about them. Because that's what engineers do. They use what they know about the rules the universe follows to design lots of cool things. Can you think of some cool things that were designed by engineers, Andrew?
Well, my computer, my phone, airplanes, and space shuttles.
Those were all designed by engineers. And space shuttle is a great example too, because a lot of different engineers have to come together to make one. Aeronautics, chemical, material, electrical, medical, all different types of engineers have to come together to put a space shuttle together. In our Lego classes, we're going to be Lego engineers. We're going to design a lot of cool things out of Legos. So go ahead and open up your kits and get started on this lesson's creation. When you're done, feel free to add some things to it and customize it a bit. And then come on back for the rest of the video where I can show you all the other things we can learn from once it's built up.